Welcome back to another episode of Wire2Wire Sports Podcast. I'm the NFL genius, Gene Walls. Like in the upper left corner, we got Kent State's own, Cleveland's own, College Cottrell.
Gentlemen, I feel like normally, it's March Madness. We got baseball going. We got basketball going. Normally, I'd be pretty excited about where we're at right now, but with the way that my bracket ultimately went up in flames, and I know we're going to get to that later here, but the way it went up in flames, I'm a little disappointed in where we sit right now.
That's okay. You're okay to be disappointed where you sit. In our wire bracket, I'm disappointed too. I had Florida in the national championship and win, and they lost. But in my two other money brackets, if Arizona beats Michigan, I win them both. So I guess I could be happy there. I had Arizona or Florida. I'll take that. Upper right corner, Scholastic Shally, Uncle Shally, U of M zone, Mr. William Shawcross.
And I am quite happy with my position in all my brackets right now. But it all rests on one game, so we'll see what happens. But I'm quite happy with the position I'm in going into the Final Four.
I mean, listen, Saturday's game is what most people would call the game of the tournament. No questions there, right? No questions there. You got Michigan versus Arizona.
I think
what we all expected. You think what?
I think whoever wins Saturday ends up winning.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what most people think. Even people are making ridiculous takes about it. Did you hear a ridiculous take about reseeding the final? Anybody else hear that?
Ridiculous. So
dumb. I hate when people just get a microphone and say stupid shit. Oh, I do that. But how you feel, Shal? How do you feel about your chances?
I'm fairly confident. I think they're gonna be the best team we played all year. I think we're playing great basketball right now. I think we're peaking at the right time, and I know we're gonna do it later and break it down a little bit more. But I think Dusty has coached a couple really good games. Really relied on our strength and our mismatches and all them, and really exposed some teams. So, I'm probably a little bit more confident than I should be, because I'm usually trying to find ways to figure out how they're going to lose. But I will still be nervous come Saturday night.
Listen, I don't think you should be confident. I think you guys get your bells rung Saturday. I'm just trying to get a rise out of them. I'm just fucking around. Gentlemen, Hot Wire is live. Let's get started with a little Hot Wire action. We'll talk about the tournament when we get to college basketball. We got some hot topics that we have to get into right now. So without further ado, my guy Cottrell, load us up, teach us in, bring us in. It's Hot Wire time.
Absolutely. So first things first here, I feel like this was the biggest news of this past week here. We had yet another Tiger Woods incident in a vehicle. Tiger Woods was ultimately arrested after a rollover crash. Wasn't any alcohol involved there, but they did find pills within his pocket there. And he since released a statement that he is going to be seeking some additional help here to, cleanse himself and get better, and going to take some time away from golf as a whole there. So, gentlemen, with this being the biggest news out of this past week here, and not the first time we've had an incident like this with him. What are your thoughts with the latest Tiger Woods DUI?
So let me start here, because I know Bill is a little bit more of a golf guy than I am, but we all know Tiger, right? We all understand who Tiger Woods is. What bothers me is the cookie cutter responses he gives after he does these stupid instances. Remember last time Oh, I was a sex addict. I'm going to go to rehab for sex. Like, my guy, you are a multi-millionaire, probably a billionaire. It might be time just to have a driver go with you everywhere and just drive you places. I mean, I don't care what drugs of choice you choose. I don't care if you take drugs. Just don't drive. Don't endanger the lives of other people while you're doing it. You're a multi-millionaire, but the way he handles himself, and he goes, well, I'm going to seek out help. Well, no shit. Why didn't you seek out help last time it happened? Isn't this his third DUI? Am I tripping?
No, you're. It'll be his third rehab because, like you mentioned, the first one, you have the sex addiction one when he got caught cheating with everybody under the sun, and then he got the first DUI in Florida, not super long after that.
Why not have a driver with you at all times?
Well, a report came out that the reason why he has been against getting a driver is for privacy. Like he likes he doesn't want to have a driver interfere with his privacy. That TMZ reported that, I think, yesterday. When I read that,
are a thing, brother.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, you could easily have him sign an NDA and just go about your daily life.
Yeah, nobody wants.
They're not going to be hanging out with him all day. They're going to pick him up when he needs to be picked up and drop him off at his house. Like, I don't know what crazy shit he thinks he's going to be doing in the car, but
clearly drugs.
It's, whatever, man. But again, I mean, I don't think anybody's under any kind of fairy dust that Tiger Woods doesn't do drugs at this point. Like, let's just call it for what it is. Like, I'll let Gene finish before I go.
No, you're good. You can go. I said what I need to say. I don't need to hear this. This guy needs to be in jail. And listen, I don't care. I'm just telling you the truth, right? I don't care if he endangered the life. I care if he endangered the life of someone during this vehicle incident. But I don't care if he endangered the life of someone in this, which he didn't. He is endangering the life of people when he's getting behind the vehicle, getting behind the wheel of a car and driving under the influence. Like, there could be a person walking their dog. There could be a situation. You can hit another car. You can go into a house. Like, the things he's doing are reckless. He needs to go to jail like the rest of us. If I had 3 DUIs, you know where I'd be? I wouldn't be on Wire2Wire. I'll tell you that right now. I'm just telling you. I'm sorry he's a multimillionaire. They can just drive around, do whatever the hell he wants. That's crazy to me. And look, I rooted for Tiger on Sundays too, man. I'm all about the red polo. But this is enough. Am I right?
No, you're not wrong. And to be quite honest, I'm kind of pissed off that nobody in the media will call him out. Not ESPN, not Fox, nobody. It's kind of like Gene said. It's we have to coddle him with kid gloves again. No, you don't. The dude's almost 50, and this isn't the first time. Like, you had the incident with his wife when all that. All right, that's fine. That's marital stuff. That's neither here nor there. But then he had another DUI where, if you watch the video of that, he could barely stand up. And then I don't want to hear that he was just on painkillers for this, because if you saw the picture and video of him when he got walked out over 18 hours later, he still wasn't with it. He was still high. So, like, it's the first one, he's lucky he lived. If we're being completely honest, that one was way worse than this one. But it destroyed his leg. And for sake of argument, it really pretty much ended his career, like on the level that we're used to him playing. He had the glorious Masters run after that, but I'm watching all these guys on ESPN and nobody is like being like, he needs to learn his lesson. It's I hope he gets the help he needs, and I hope he's back. We see him soon, and it sucks this happened because it's right before the Masters, and no, like to Gene's point, like like if we're gonna sit here and burn, Riggs and all these guys for driving fast, and he unfortunately took the life of somebody in his reckless car accident and stuff like that. Why is Tiger above it? And again, it's not the first time. This isn't 10 years ago. And you're like, all right, like Tiger had a problem. He's going to go. He's going to go get rehab and be better. This is obviously a pattern of behavior. This is nothing new. And again, the only person, and I will give this guy credit, Riggs from Barstool is the only guy that I've seen nationally anywhere give Tiger shit, and he gave Justin Thomas shit. He gave a bunch of people shit. There's a bunch of people in his life, obviously, that enable him to do what he wants to do. And again, it's probably not an easy thing to tell Tiger like no, or tell Tiger to slow down. But let's also remember this happened at 2:00 in the afternoon. This wasn't like he was driving home from the country club at 11 o'clock at night and they sat there and they drank too long and had too many to drink. This was 2:00 in the afternoon. So what time in the morning did he start taking whatever he was going to take? So and he was that messed up by 2:00. So I think he should go to jail. I do. I'm sorry, I hate to say that, but we've crucified so many other athletes for doing the same thing or even doing less, and they've faced bigger repercussions. And Tiger's just going to walk away from this again, because he didn't hurt anybody, because he's like Gene said, because he released the picture perfect political statement, and he's going to go out of the country now and get away and reset and seek help and then come back, and we're just supposed to be like, okay, that's fine. Like, no, to Gene's point, if any of the three of us had 3 DUIs, we're not in jail, we're in prison, not jail, prison.
Yeah, Gen Pop.
Yeah, correct. You're 100% right though. We're greater for than Gen Pop. That's where we are. Like what are we doing? It's a joke to me, man. I love the guy. I mean, he was literally I came into golf at the very end, like Jack. Like Jack was pretty much almost done. Like he was on the senior tour, but I knew who he was. Like I knew who Arnold Palmer was, and then there's this gap of guys that I still love. Like Freddie Couples to this day is still probably my favorite golfer. But then you got into Tiger and what Tiger did for golf, and this even goes for Cottrell. Mostly everybody knows when they started watching golf because it probably coincided with something he did, something he won, or like Cottrell's first memories of golf are probably watching Tiger Woods. And again, like Gene said, Gene just started golfing a couple years ago, but Gene knows who the hell Tiger Woods is. I just don't understand how we're just going to wipe our hands of it. And somebody else brought up a good point too. I look at remember what Kobe went through, and Kobe never even got prosecuted for what he did. Now, should he have? Probably, but Kobe's also the beacon of whatever happened that night. We'll never know. But he's also the guy that was like, you know what? I have to change my life. I need to be a better husband. I need to be a better father. And Kobe Bryant became the prime example of, making the best of your second chance. And Tiger's just out here slinging painkillers and cocaine and whatever else he's doing, and nobody cares, and flipped a car in the middle of a neighborhood in the middle of the day. And we're just like, that's normal. I just drive down my street every day and there's usually some, Range Rover on its side. That's normal. He comes back. I don't think he should go away for years and years, but you know what? I think if he skates and gets nothing, I think that's a travesty. I really do. And I love him, dude. I love him. I've followed the dude since he was an amateur. But you got there's got to be consequences for what you do.
100%. Let's move on. I'm tired of talking about Tiger Woods. He deserves to be in jail. It's crazy to me that we just going to go another he's going to be Club Med, bro. Yeah, rehab. Okay.
I'm curious. Cottrell, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, you guys really covered, really everything as far as like how I feel about it. I mean, again, it'd be one thing if this was like, first time that it happened and, it was this thing and he comes out with this apology, but like this feels like a almost like right on time here as far as the Tiger Woods, storyline goes, right? It's like, all right, so has this injury, sits out entire year of golf, rehab, starts showing up again. He was at the event last week, like literally right before the DUI ultimately happened. There's questions asked about him like gearing up and getting ready, and he's basically like, "Oh, I'm basically gearing up for a Masters run." And then the DUI happens. He puts out this statement, and we're gonna not hear from him for well, until whenever his arraignment and all that stuff is, following his original plea there. But he's going to come back. He's going to have some other injury. And, ultimately, I feel like nothing's going to come of this because, again, I feel like I've seen this story before here. So, yeah, I mean, you feel weird about it because it's like, like you said, like it's Tiger Woods. Like, everybody loved watching him golf and things like that. But at the same time, it's like no one should be above the law. And especially in a situation like this, where this isn't the first time that you've done this. This isn't the second time that you've done it, but it's the third time and you seemingly, don't learn your lesson from the past mistakes there. So I hope at some point, some sort of judgment gets passed down on him, whether it be, I mean, obviously jail time should 100% be on the table here, but absolutely need to hold him accountable here. And if that means we don't see Tiger for a few more years of golf,
then bro,
perfectly fine with it.
He can have treatment outside the country and just go to Club Med for a year and everybody forget about who he is.
That's wild to me because, and I'll say this, like, again, if it was any one of the three of us and we were like, hey,
I want to go to France to get treatment, guys.
Yeah.
Can I go do that?
The judge is going to laugh at you and be like, yeah, you're not going.
It's just weird too because any other time it's like, hey, like you have a pending trial here, like you can't leave the country, like,
bro. Like you tell me, like if anybody has the means to go get treatment on the outside of this country, and then go to some country where there's no extradition treaty, and just build a freaking compound and never come back, it's Tiger Woods.
Absolutely.
Dude's a billionaire. Like,
let's move. I'm enough Tiger, please.
All right, let's go.
More topics. Then we got March Madness and baseball. We got to get rolling.
Let's go to another situation that's been absolutely wild and has been unraveling more and more. It feels like day by day here, and that's going to be Chicago Bulls guard Jaden Ivey in the comments that he made here a few days ago. So ultimately, he had went on live and had a statement regarding pride and the way it gets celebrated within the NBA. One of the quotes there from that entire thing, it's a big excerpt. So if you guys haven't heard it, I mean, feel free to. But just one of the things I wanted to point out here that he said was they proclaim Pride Month in the NBA. They show it to the world. They say, come join us for Pride Month to celebrate on righteousness. And this is basically on the backs of his belief, his religious belief there, and how he feels that Pride Month ultimately gets celebrated there within the NBA. He also had some other things that he said there. He called out Steph Curry regarding some things. Apparently it's been coming out as well that he had been telling guys in the locker room, like, hey, I believe you're righteous, or I think you're an unrighteous person and things like that. So ultimately, he was waived from the Chicago Bulls here, but wanted to get your guys' thoughts and reactions to this. I'm not sure if you guys have been caught up to speed with everything that seemingly comes out. It feels like day by day with him, but just wanted to get your thoughts on the situation.
Let me go last on this one because I feel like that my take's going to be a little bit off.
I probably fall in line with Gene a little bit about this. This is tricky for me. I believe that you're allowed to believe in what you want to believe in. We've gone over this before, though, with other leagues. Noticeably, the NHL's had the biggest pushback out of all the major four, mainly because you have so many people from outside the U.S. that make up those rosters, and they have very strong beliefs one way or the other about what we're talking about. Again, I think he's entitled to believe what he wants to believe in. You don't have to agree with it. I don't agree with it, but at the same time, you play in a league that is trying to, expand and make certain groups of people feel welcome at the game and want them to experience the same thing that, other people go to the game and experience. I think him being waived for conduct detrimental to me was a lot. I think if he would have said something along the lines of, I think if he would have used slurs or really went after the LGBTQ community, I think they would have grounds to do it. He stated his opinion and he thinks that it's wrong. I don't know. For me, it just sounds like a lot to get kicked out of not kicked out of the league, but to get waived off a team for. Again, I don't agree with his opinion, but I also understand that people should have their fair share to, believe in what they believe in. This one's really tricky to me because usually there's something else attached to these usually. And it's usually somebody said something really bad, used a slur, called somebody a name, something like that, where I think it's a lot more cut and dry. Calling somebody unrighteous, I don't know. That's just a stretch for me, in my opinion.
All right. So
for me,
yeah.
I was going to say, for me, ultimately, I think this is, like you said, it's a complicated situation, but I think the Bulls uncomplicated it because of who he is. If Jaden Ivey had been a player who was relevant to the Bulls, who had been averaging, 10, 12 points even, I think we talk about it and, they come out with a statement, probably their GM or their coach, like, hey, we don't necessarily agree with what he said, but he's entitled to believe in it. We're going to fine him potentially. Maybe we suspend him for a game or two, whatever the case may be. We make him, do some sort of donation. I don't know, whatever the case may be there. But I think it's easy to just get rid of him off the team when he's a player that only averages 8 points for you. And since you've acquired him, he's been out with injury. It makes it very easy to just, just cut him off the team there because you don't want to deal with the, aftermath of those comments on your team. So I think a lot of it is based on Jaden Ivey of who he is right now as an NBA player, not necessarily the message itself there. Now, of course, the message is an issue, and I don't necessarily agree with it, but I am a firm believer that if this had been a better player that said the exact same things the exact same way, we wouldn't be in the position that we're in right now.
Well,
before Gene goes, I haven't read the whole thing. Is there anything else in there other than what I said? Am I missing anything?
He called them an abomination. That's the
He called them an abomination?
Yeah, he said, well, we said it's an abomination that the NBA celebrates LGBT.
Celebrates the
correct.
The
That's exactly what he said. He didn't say that being gay was an abomination. He said it's an abomination that the NBA
celebrates Pride Night.
Right. Well, that's a little different because now you're going after the league. So, okay. I just wanted to make sure. Go ahead.
So, it's tough to be on both sides of this, but I am. And I'll explain to you both sides of my mind. Number one, let's start here. I don't agree with his comments at all. I think anybody LGBTQ should have any rights that they deserve. Listen, live your life as long as you're not hurting other people. I'm fine whether you're gay, straight, whatever. I am all for people and the inclusivity of everyone. Yep. Pride Month, 100% agree with it. I think gays, lesbians should have a right to be able to celebrate and be happy for rights that they didn't have for years. I agree with that. But the NBA has a clear, I don't even want to say double standard. It's like a triple standard. I just want to read some things out loud to you. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope played several games for the Lakers while serving a 25-day jail sentence. A work release program allowed him to attend games in California, though he wore an ankle monitor and could not travel with the teams out of state. Wasn't waived. Jason Williams shot and killed his limousine driver. While he served prison time, he was not officially banned by the NBA, though his playing career had effectively ended due to injuries before the incident. Spencer Hayward admitted to hiring a hitman to kill his coach after being suspended for a cocaine problem. He backed out of the plan and eventually returned to the Bullets. John Morant snuck a gun on Instagram Live into a strip club. He was not waived by the Memphis Grizzlies. You are absolutely correct. Absolutely correct that what he said, sometimes just don't put a microphone in front of people. And he went on, I think it was a live and wanted to go off on his own. And I get it. People should have to be able to have their opinions. And am I mad at the Bulls for waiving him? No, that's a Bulls organizational move. You said some things, the Bulls wanted to waive him. I guarantee you if that's prime Derrick Rose that said it, guys, we all remember Kyrie Irving retweeting the anti-Semitic movies, like, and then defending it on his Twitter. Like, oh, well, these are my beliefs. And did the Brooklyn Nets waive him? They suspended him a few games. Cottrell is factually correct when he says if he was a player of substance for the Chicago Bulls, then he would not have been waived. And the just double standard to me is like, I want if the Bulls want to take this stance, and that's fine. I want them to take that same stance for Josh Giddey being caught with a 16-year-old girl. I want them to take the same stance for situations that have happened during their organization for years. Don't take that stance down, contract detrimental to the team. Do I agree with his points? No. But we sit on this show and we say Sean Strickland, we don't agree with anything that guy says, and the UFC still markets him to fight. Just stop the triple standard. It's awful. It's really simple, guys. And I, once again, don't agree with the statement, but we're not banning Egypt and Iran from the World Cup because of their statements that they've made about not playing in the Pride game. I think that a Pride game is good. I think Pride Month is good. We can think back 70 years ago before Black History Month. And I'm sure players spoke out against that. And it's wrong to not give people rights. But don't have a stance of we don't stand for this when it's Jaden Ivey, but we'll deal with it if it's Kyrie. We'll deal with it if it's Josh Giddey. We could deal Kobe Bean Bryant. Love the guy. Love him to death. We'll deal with it. Really good player. Listen, number 8 had the problem. Number 24 had the unstoppable turnaround. I'm kidding. But the point being is don't have this stance for one player and not have it for another. That's where I land.
Agreed. And I mean, I think that's the general thing there. If again, I'd almost wonder too, and not necessarily saying we got to do it right now, but like what caliber player, like what is, I wonder what that cutoff point is. Because like obviously we talk about Kyrie, we talk about Ja, like for all intents and purposes, like those guys are superstars. You know, I'm wondering like does Nas Reed get that kind of pass like for something that happens like this? Like where does the NBA or these teams ultimately draw that line? Again, not necessarily relevant here or something that we gotta
To be
like
fair, the NBA didn't
on,
draw the
but
line. The Bulls did.
no, I know. But I'm just saying I wonder where do we care as far as like the level of stardom goes or production goes within the NBA?
See, that's an even more intriguing question to me, though. If the Bulls don't do anything, does the NBA even step into this?
Probably not.
Probably suspend them, maybe fine them. Because I mean, they do have like a code of conduct like standard there about things they can and can't say, and even if it wasn't like an official NBA setting there, like that could technically go against like the NBA's principles or whatever the case may be there. So I feel like they probably would have fined them, but I highly doubt that they would have forced him to be removed from the team.
That's a really good point. That logic applies to the people who are standing with Ivy, but didn't stand behind Kaepernick or the NBA for just bubble messaging. That's a really good point. I like that point, Kyle. Appreciate that. Really do. And Hack, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I see your point. I want it. Free speech is meant for the speech that bothers us, not the speech we agree with. I hear you, brother. I hear you. But in the same rights, I don't think when you sign a contract, see, free speech doesn't mean, and this is something people need to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Free speech doesn't mean there's speech without consequences. Because I can say whatever I want and not go to jail. I can't say whatever I want when I go to, but I could say a lot of things and not go to jail. Doesn't mean my job will keep me hired if I say something. Does not mean that consequences don't apply to what I do. So he said the comments, and I understand the Bulls' stance on it, but it's very rich of them to have that stance for it while they employ Josh Giddey. That's my only point. Not my only point, but one of them.
How much do you think changes if he's still under contract? Like if he's not an impending free agent?
Nothing. I think they probably still waive him because he's out for the year right now with an injury. So I also think too is as quiet as it's kept. And last thing I'll say here before we move on to Jalen Hurts' story here, but it's like I said before, it's been reported that this feels like the straw that broke the camel's back. Like obviously this is like the major thing, but apparently behind closed doors, like there was a lot of like small things that kind of led up to this point. Like him asking reporters, and I keep seeing reports about it, like him asking reporters, like if they've had sex before marriage and things like that, like him going into the locker room, talking to his teammates and again, asking them, similar questions and saying that they're righteous and unrighteous. So like, it feels like this was like a story before, but then he came out and said this. I would imagine they were probably just trying to keep it under wraps. Like the NBA only has like 7 or 8 games left. They were probably trying to let the season play out. He's not even really with the team right now because of the injury. They were just going to wash their hands with him after the season. But because of this, it's like, all right, we're not going to keep answering questions about him moving forward here. He's not even a part of us. He's not helping us do what we need to do anyway. So let's just go ahead and get rid of him so we can just, chop this thing off like where it is right now.
Yeah, Jory's correct. And Jory, I just echoed this. People are thinking this is about religion. It's not about religion. Free speech does not mean freedom of consequences. Just because you don't agree with somebody doesn't mean you get to disrespect. I hear that. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Jalen Hurts report.
All right. So we got a bombshell. I feel like this is something that we've kind of been waiting for in a sense. Like we were talking about it during the season and we were waiting to see if it ever all came out. But Jeremy Fowler released an article essentially saying that it is not all sunshines and rainbows in Philadelphia between Jalen Hurts and the organization. And some of the key points that were in the article there was that Jalen Hurts is somebody that pushed back on changes that would diversify the offense, reports that he didn't want to play under center. He was reluctant to rip it at times, specifically against zone coverage. He had poor body language and didn't always seem like he was bought into the scheme. Not the most coachable, and players were noticing that. And then ultimately, the last thing was that he diverts from the game plan and changes play calls to an excessive degree. You guys are the Philadelphia fans on the show here, and there was a ton of back and forth going on through the NFL season with, are we team AJ? Are we team Jalen and things like that? With what you hear from this report, what are your thoughts on the situation? And ultimately, do you think it's something that can be salvaged with Jalen Hurts playing quarterback in Philadelphia?
Bill, we're going to argue tonight. I'm loving this. I can't wait. Bill, it's going to be fun.
Let's go ahead and drop this.
So let's say this, right? Here's where I already know Bill's side of the fence, and I know I'm going to be on the other side of it. I know it already. I could be wrong. Maybe, I don't know. But I want to go back. I want to go back to 2022. That's where I want to go back. When he played under Shane Steichen. They went to the Super Bowl. He was second in MVP. He got hurt. He was the front runner, and then he got hurt the last 2 games of the season, and then led them to the Super Bowl and lost 34-31. I want to go back there. That's where I want to go. Okay? Next year, Brian Johnson's offense, it was a mess. It was a mess. They were running flag routes versus cover zero blitzes. It was a mess. Anybody with 2 eyes that watched football, I sat down and talked to Mike Quick, who played the game, and he said it was the worst coaching performance he ever seen on offense. Okay? Let's speed up the next year. Kellen Moore is the offense coordinator. Well, I don't know. What happened that year? Oh, they won the Super Bowl. They promote from within again. And he doesn't agree with the coach. Doesn't like the way the offense is run. Do I think Jalen should be changing plays or not trusting the offense or not ripping it during zone coverage? Do I think that he changed a ton of plays to the line or said he didn't want to play under center or was difficult to coach this year? Yes. But I've been in sales for 20 years, Cottrell. You've worked with me. If I went somewhere else and an amateur was telling me how to sell a phone, I don't know if I'd be respectful of that either. And we all watched the offense. Wasn't just you, wasn't just Shally, wasn't just me. Were there missed opportunities? Absolutely. Did Jalen play perfect football? Absolutely not. But I'll say this. Tanner McKee under Kellen Moore for a game and a half looked incredible. For a full game under Kevin Patullo, looked pedestrian. I don't believe in Kevin Patullo. So in my opinion, it all matters with how he meshes with Sean Mannion. He is the son of a coach. He's been the son of a coach. He's been coached by some of the best, including Lincoln Riley, including Lane Kiffin, including Lane Kiffin's a good offensive mind, no matter what you think of him. But so many people, the offense coordinator, what's his name? Coach the Giants last year. Why am I drawing a blank?
Dable.
Brian Dable coached him offensively. He's been coached everywhere. Shane Steichen, Kellen Moore. But yet I didn't hear just reports about him being hard to coach and not wanting to play in a certain system until he played under 2 amateurs in Brian Johnson and now last year, Kevin Patullo. Shally, you watched that offense last year. That offense looked vanilla and basic. There was nobody schematically schemed open. Now, are we going to say that Jalen was like, nope, this is all I want to run? Okay, I'll hear that. Is that why AJ's mad at him? Okay, maybe. But I will say this. He threw it a ton versus the Chargers at zone coverage. And what we have, 5 turnovers, I think? Gotcha.
I don't disagree with a lot of what you said. I mean, to Cottrell's opening thing, this is still separate from me, whatever those two got into it about. whatever that is, whenever that comes out, that's a personal thing.
Yep.
It lends some credence to it, kind of gives a little bit more insight to maybe what some of the cryptic AJ tweets were about, where I think towards the end of the year, we assumed a lot of them were about Patullo. I don't know now. But the only thing that I would push back on is there was a part in the article where they said even when Kellen Moore got there that he pushed back a lot of the motion stuff and all that stuff right from the get-go because he didn't want to do it. And then if they ran certain packages in a game and it wasn't like instant success, he wanted taken out of the game plan. And then finally, Sirianni had to get involved and make them come to kind of a compromise and agreement to run a certain amount. And then towards the end of the year, obviously it looked what it looked like, and they did what they did. The rest of it for me is kind of, I mean, listen, we've known for years he struggles against the zone. It's not a new thing. You look at his numbers last year, I think they were worse against the zone last year than he had in other years previously. Gene brought up the Chargers game. I think stuff like that is a little bit glaring. But you read other sources in that thing, and they said it became, which was one of the frustrations that even Devonta and AJ and Saquon and even Jalen had were last year. It was very predictable. It was very based upon certain things they did. You knew right away what they were going to do if it was going to be a run or a pass.
Correct.
And we talked about that last year on the show towards the end of the year. It wasn't hard to tell what they were going to do. I don't care how great of players you have. You're still playing against 11 NFL defenders. And if you're not breaking tendency or giving different looks, and they have a pretty good idea of what you're going to do, I don't care if you have Saquon. If they know you're going to run over there, they're going to tackle you. I think some of the other stuff is – listen, I've said this before. I hate the anonymous source bullshit. I can't stand it because it could be – I don't know if it's a towel boy that heard 30 seconds of a conversation. He has no idea what he really heard. If it's the assistant to the assistant.
Cowboy reporters, bro. They're not writing these. The reporters that are reporting on this are not writing this because the cowboy heard something for 30 seconds.
My point being this, though, you still don't know if it's an assistant coach that just wasn't be named, or it could still be like it's they cited different people in the article, so it's all over the place. My point just being, there's still a ton of unknown, and again, these unless they are they're all coaches and they just don't want to say their names. They're still not privy to everything that gets said, gets done in meetings, game plans, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I still think, and I've said it before, he has a lot to improve on. And again, I think I think you go back to Kellen Moore, you go back to Steichen. Those guys were really great at putting him in a position where he could snap the ball and the first read was almost always going to be there. And if it was, he succeeds. When it's not, he struggles. He struggles against zone. We haven't made some great leap in the last 5 years in any of that. Now, to Gene's point, has he had a different level of a coordinator over those 5 years? Yes, we have. Steichen was great. Kellen Moore was great. I don't care what you think of last year. I don't think anybody is looking at Kevin Patullo and being like, that guy came with it every week and the Eagles just didn't execute. That's not what happened. So, but there's still things in that. The numbers don't lie, and they haven't lied. He struggles over the middle. If it's more than 6 yards downfield, because he doesn't like to sit in the pocket and read. He doesn't. These are all the same things that were true 5 years ago. None of it's changed. So, is it an OC's job to play to your strengths? Sure. But there's also certain things you have to be expected to be able to do as an NFL quarterback on a pretty good level or on a decent level. Does he have to be amazing against zone? No. But teams also found out, hey, if you take AJ and Devonta away on short little outs against zone and you keep him in the pocket, he's probably going to do something dumb. And he does. So, all you got to do at that point is just follow Dallas Goedert around because that's where he's going to try to throw the ball.
Well, this is my problem. And I'll say this, and Cottrell, I'd love to hear your opinion too. I'm going to read a stat off to you guys I had prepared for this because I was waiting for the rebuttal, but you didn't give me one. But I still got to read the stat because the stat is amazing. Guys, let me ask you a question real quick. In 2025, minimum 240 routes run, which is basically a starting NFL wide receiver in the NFL, like a starting receiver. Okay, 240 routes. Cottrell, you understand the game pretty well. 240 is not even a guy that's played 17 games. 240 could be a number 3 wide receiver, right?
For sure.
Minimum 240 routes. Top 5 players in the NFL in hitch routes. How many of them you think were Philadelphia Eagles?
Probably 2.
Probably 4.
3. I'm going to read this because it's unbelievable. 35.8% of Dallas Goedert's routes were hitch routes. That's more than 1 every 3. Okay. That's Dallas Goedert. He's the tight end. Fine. 33% of Jahan Dotson's routes were hitch routes. And you wonder why that guy's like, what the heck? Get me the hell out of here. Can't wait to go somewhere else. Oh, all right. Well, that's just a tight end. Wide receiver 3 didn't really touch the ball much. 30% of Devontae Smith's routes last year were hitch. 30. The guy's 180 pounds. You're running a stop route. You watch him in Alabama. I bet you ran less than 5% of his routes were hitch routes. And those 3 players ranked number 1, 2, and 3 in the NFL running hitch routes. Do you know how hard that is? Yeah, but you're right. You're right. Jalen was tough to coach. He kept telling him to run the goddamn hitch route. Let's go out there. Stop at 8 yards. We'll throw you the ball. I just don't believe it. What I believe is that the offense stunk last year. And I'll say this, Shao, you know as well as anybody. Who do you think the hardest quarterback to coach was of all time? I'll give you 2 answers.
Ever? You're talking about Eagles.
Hardest quarterback to coach of all time ever.
This is a loaded question.
Tom Brady or Peyton Manning? Because both those guys knew the offense and knew the game better than anyone. And if you didn't go in that huddle with like, we're going to do this, and that, it want nothing to do with you. But great coaches, they get in arguments, they fight, they punch and pull to see. Now, when you have a guy like Kevin Patullo who comes in, then when he doesn't have the pull that Jalen Hurts does in the organization, Jalen can argue with him. But when they hire an offensive coordinator like Kellen Moore, a highly known offensive coordinator, he's going to go back and forth with you. And it's the reason, and I'll say it, I want you to hear it, it's the reason C.J. Stroud has fell off a cliff. Because the coach that pushed him is no longer there. He was at Ohio State and Ryan Day pushed him. He was in Houston and Bobby Slowick pushed him. And he didn't want to get pushed anymore. He wanted to run the offense his way, and he's been on a steadily decline since. Just making it very, very obvious points.
I just think it's and again, it's a part of it that we'll never know. But it's like, how much of that is run because Jalen wants it run? How much it was run because Patullo sucks? And then how much of it was checked into the middle of the game because it's and I'm not even saying it's wrong every time, but like Jalen getting a play call, being like, hey, we need 3 yards. This is dumb. It's a risky play. Go run hitches. I'll get a first down with Devonta Smith. Like, we'll never know the breakdown of all that. Yeah. So it's like, that's the part of it that is, Again, I take away from like anything else. I mean, it doesn't change my opinion on Patullo at all. And a lot of the things I've said about Jalen is stuff I've said for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
There's certain things he needs to improve on, and I think he knows that. So,
I guess the one part that I still question, I guess, with the article would be if there was this much turmoil there, or Jalen didn't believe in the system there, and he essentially, went rogue out there. And I would imagine that the way the offense was moving, that Saquon and AJ and all those guys most likely had Jalen's back. Like, I'm sure they know what good football looks like. I mean, hell, they just won a Super Bowl the year before. It's like they know what a successful offense looks like. If Jalen was really going, rogue out there, I don't want to excuse what Patullo was doing, because obviously you go into games with schemes and you go in with game plans and things like that. But at the same time, I don't know if there was ever a moment, and you brought up the Chargers game, Gene, where he had the 5 picks, and then the following game they had a great game where they won like 30-8 or something. It was a really good game. But I wonder, from the Chargers game to the end of the season, when did Jalen stop taking over the offense? Because it still was week to week looking very different. So, like, I just wonder how much pull did Jalen have in the offense.
Control. This is the problem, right? Jalen Hurts is not an offense coordinator. He's not a coach.
For sure.
It's not his job to design plays, to schematically scheme people open. He is seeing a play, seeing a defense, and being like, we're not running this shit. This isn't working. Guys, all you have to do is look at the last play in the 49ers team. And I 100% believe Jalen checked that play in the huddle. They ran 4 verts versus cover 4, bro.
You think Jalen checked into that?
Yes. They ran 4 verts versus cover 4, Cottrell. What is the odds of 4 verts working versus cover 4?
Slim to none. I mean,
and none just left the building.
Well, not they ran it to play before.
Well, they ran it before versus cover 2, and it was there. They ran 4 verts versus cover 4. That is insane to me.
I mean, I think that's but I also think that should be a concerning thing, though, because if Jalen was like, all right, they were in cover 2 here, he goes out, he looks at it, and he's like, all right, I think cover 4 can work here. Or even if he does it in the huddle and says like, hey, we're running 4 verts again here. Most elite quarterbacks who, and I'm not saying Jalen necessarily elite, but he's definitely in that top 10. Like we've had him as high as 5 on this show here. Yeah. Quarterbacks in that position should be able to look out and see 4 verts is not going to work here because of what they're in right now.
Correct. You're absolutely correct. But the problem is this: it's whether or not Sean Mannion has the balls to go toe-to-toe with Jalen Hurts in these practices and these meetings, because Jalen Hurts is not an offense coordinator. He's not. I don't care how much he thinks he is. He's not Peyton Manning. He never will be Peyton Manning. He's not Tom Brady. He never will be Tom Brady. But he's a very good quarterback with the right scheme and the right coordinator, and that's been proven time and time and time again. We all thought Jalen Hurts was cooked at Alabama until he went to Oklahoma and almost won the Heisman Trophy. We all thought Jalen Hurts was cooked under Doug Peterson when he got drafted until Shane Steichen got there and made him look great. We all thought he was cooked under Brian Johnson until Kellen Moore got there and he won the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts can operate in a good offensive scheme. And by the way, all these anonymous reports, I promise you, they start at one spot. You might not believe me, but Kevin Patullo is the anonymous source. Now, granted, there's players that have made comments above that, I'm sure. But the original anonymous source after the season was Kevin Patullo. You're welcome. I'll do the reporting for you guys. We'll see. And by the way, Derek said this earlier. I wanted to get to it. He said, sucks the Eagles Super Bowl window is closing, if not closed. Derek, it's closed. It's closed. It is closed. N'Kobe Dean's gone. Reed Blankenship's gone. The offensive line is hurting. Landon Dickerson's pondering retirement. Cam Jurgens is talking about how I don't know how I played last year. Lane Johnson's pondering retirement. It's closed. Now, can they reopen it with a good draft? Absolutely. But do not kid yourself and think they can run it back with this team that they have right now and they're going to be fine. They're not. 2026 is a down year. Sorry. Don't put your money on the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. Not happening.
I'm not going to act like you guys are like odds on favorite or anything, but I do also think that the pieces that you lost are were they good players? Absolutely, but they're very replaceable. And I say that because you have Jihad. You can name what?
Teams. I can name 15 teams in the NFL that have better chance to win a Super Bowl this year than the Philadelphia Eagles. 15.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't agree with that. I mean, okay, I think cool. your offense is like almost identical. And you figure if you have good coaching there on that side of the ball, like we saw what they looked like in 24 there. And defensively, like, yes, you lost N'Kobe Dean, but like Jihad Campbell was a first round pick last year. And yes, you lost Blankenship, but like you do still have a whole draft this class here as well. So like I think there's a ton of talent still on this Eagles team. And the way Howie's been drafting, like if you get a draft of Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell and Jihad Campbell, like you sure up this draft with 3 starters, you're going to be right back in the mix here to compete for a Super Bowl.
Right now, before the draft, I take 3 teams in the NFC West over the Philadelphia Eagles. That's 49ers, Rams, Seahawks. I would take 2 teams, if not 3 teams in the NFC North.
Wild, but okay.
It's not wild at all.
They don't have a receiver. You could play receiver for them right now.
Bro.
Opposite of Mike Evans.
The 49ers with no wide receivers last year and no defense and all their best players not playing and Christian McCaffrey playing hurt, beat the Eagles in Philadelphia.
With that offensive coordinator.
Cottrell. They get Nick Bosa back. They get Fred Warner back. They
won't have George Kittle. They won't have Ayuk. They won't have Ayuk back next year. They're going to have Mike Evans there.
I told you guys Ayuk was never a top 15 wide receiver, and no one wanted to listen to me. He had one good season. Ayuk sucked.
I don't know why you're taking a victory lap on Ayuk when he didn't play last year.
He stinks, bro. He's always stunk. He had one good year under Kyle Shanahan. Nelson Aguilar had a good year under an offensive coordinator. Just call it like it is. He stinks. And he's got no heart, and he's gutless. Sorry, you got to roll with that. Vic, we trust. Okay. I mean, yeah, I trust Vic too, but offense stinks, bro. I mean, 15's nuts. I can name them all. You want me to name them all? You guys want me to name them all?
I'm kind of curious at this point. Yeah.
Okay. Let's just. All I want you to do is tell me if there's objectively an argument. Don't argue with me and like nitpick each one. But is there objectively an argument that this team could win a Super Bowl next year over the Philadelphia Eagles? Okay? Is that fair?
Sure.
Can we object? Let's just start in the division. Could we objectively say the Dallas Cowboys could win a Super Bowl over the Philadelphia Eagles next year? No. I 100% could.
I wouldn't see that. I don't know how you make the argument for it, but okay.
That's a no for me off the get-go.
Lions, Bears, Packers.
Bears, Packers, I would agree with. Lions, I guess, for argument's sake.
49ers, Seahawks, Rams.
Yeah, I still think 49ers is wild, but
it's not.
Argument's sake.
That's 7, right?
I mean, I'm not giving it Dallas.
The Carolina Panthers.
Oh.
Come on.
Oh.
Look at their offseason.
Oh. They overpaid Jalen Phillips.
Okay, let's go to the AFC. Can Mahomes come back and the Chiefs win Super Bowl?
No.
No? They can't?
Yeah.
I mean, they can. I mean, you don't know when he's coming back, though. Like, if he comes back in week 2, sure. But if he comes back in week 10, no.
Ravens, Bengals with Burrow.
God, no.
The Ravens, no. The Bills,
No,
no.
the Bengals. Oh, that was the Bengals.
The Broncos, no.
The Bengals was the no.
Bengals is the no, not Baltimore.
How about the Broncos?
Give you the Broncos.
How about the look? You go through. How about the Chargers?
Give you the Chargers.
The Chargers.
Like you go through.
They still need to get back. They
Bills.
still need to get another wide receiver, though.
Patriots went to the Super Bowl. Bills.
Okay.
Guys, there's 15 teams. You think I'm not saying this? I just gave you 12. Do you need 3 more? How
Well,
about the Houston Texans, who you guys picked to go to the Super Bowl? You don't think that defense can get them back?
I do.
That's another one.
Yeah, but throwing in the Cowboys, Panthers, and Bengals, like,
The
just
Panthers was a little bit of a stretch, but I believe in what they're doing this offseason. I really do. And with Ted McMillan, and you listen, that team as a whole is growing. They're growing.
I agree with you. They're trending the right direction. To say they're a legit Super Bowl threat next year is wild.
Look, I look at, and by the way, where did Mike Evans sign?
San Francisco.
Oh, okay. Because you said that I could play wide receiver for them.
I said opposite of Mike Evans. I said opposite of Mike Evans were the exact words I said.
So Ricky Pearsall is not a first-round draft pick anymore?
I mean, he was, but Ricky Pearsall stinks. If Brandon Ayuk stinks, then Ricky Pearsall is funky.
I mean, they got a draft.
Ricky Pearsall is great if he's your wide receiver 3. I think he's a very medium, run-of-the-mill wide receiver 2.
I'm just telling you guys, as Eagles fans, you have a lot. Look, I think the Eagles have a better chance of finishing last in the NFC East than first. The Commanders are going to be a lot better next year with JD5 back, healthy. The Giants are going to be really good next year. John Harbaugh, Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, Malik Neighbors back, all healthy. That defense is loaded. They're going to go draft Sonny Styles to be their middle linebacker, and that defense is going to be loaded next year with Harbaugh. Don't lie to yourself, guys. The Eagles have a better chance of finishing last in the division next year than first. I'm sorry. Don't hate me. I'm telling you the truth.
Eagles would be my favorite right now.
Yeah.
Okay. They have a better chance of finishing last than first.
Well, I mean, we just had this whole discussion. If Mannion is the guy, like, I mean, you can say the Giants all you want. I mean, still to see them put it together for 17 games. Washington's defense is still atrocious, and I mean, Dallas is still Dallas. Dallas had the same goddamn roster and then made it better over the last couple of years, and they still do what they do.
So you say whatever you want to say about the Dallas defense last year, but one thing that no one is giving credit to is Christian Parker. And if you don't know who Christian Parker is, I'll bet you in 2 years you do, because that's the same Christian Parker that was the Eagles secondary coach that took an undrafted safety like Reed Blankenship and turned him into a Pro Bowler, that took 2 first-rounders, had them start in week 1 in Cooper DeJean in week 4 and Quinyon Mitchell start in week 1. That is the same Christian Parker that is their new defensive coordinator. You better believe that Cowboys defense can be better than what stupid-ass Eberflus was doing. I'm telling you. You can lie to yourself all you want. The Eagles are not there right now. They're not. I'm sorry. And A.J. Brown's going to get moved on June 1st. Book it. That offense is going to look worse next year. Sorry.
AJ gets moved. I do think you're having a much different discussion.
You don't think he's getting moved? They have a handshake deal on place with the Patriots. Book this shit. June 1st, that trade goes through. Book it right now. There's a handshake deal already in place. AJ's going to New England. It's done. What clickbait? No, I don't ever do anything clickbait, Derek. Derek, I am a person that's been a prophet on this show for years. I was the one that told you Mike Trout was cooked before he was cooked, and no one wanted to fucking listen to me. I'm telling you, listen to me. The Eagles right now are cooked. I'm a prophet.
I mean, you also did tell us just with the Eagles, specifically with the Eagles, that they were going to go to the Super Bowl last year after seeing the offense against the Chargers game.
You're
So,
right.
like, I feel like you are
fanning me though, bro.
I know that's what I was going to get to. That's exactly what I was going to get to. So, like, obviously, respect the takes when you have them, but I do think with the Eagles specifically, because I don't think it gets there with the Sixers. I don't think it gets there with the Phillies. Like, I think the emotion runs deep with how things are going in that exact time frame, and it's hard to look at the bigger picture with that team for you. And I'm trying to help you look at the bigger picture with that team right
We
now.
talked about this last year, and listen, you're right. After that Chargers game, I got a little fandom in me. I seen the way they threw the ball. I seen the misplays here and there, and fandom got. But all year, was I not telling you that
You were.
team? So you're right. The fandom creeped in. I heard too many people, and I was originally right, and I changed my opinion.
And what I'm saying right now is that I think the fandom in you is still pissed from last season and how it looked, and doesn't give you the opportunity to have any optimism for 2026.
All right. We got to move. We spent over an hour on Hot Wire. We got to get into trivia. I got a trivia question for you too. Are you guys ready?
Absolutely.
I'm trivia this week, right?
Yes.
All right, just making sure. Shelly gave me a look like I was nuts. All right, guys, what are we about to talk about? What is the topic we are about to talk about?
College basketball.
Yes, sir. So what I have for you are the top 10 scorers in one single March Madness before this year. Obviously, this year is no one on that list. The top 10 since 2000. So I went a little bit nuts. Top 10 since 2000. So I took all the old ones out that played 4 years in college. But the top 10 scores in a single March Madness. So 1 year and the top 10 scores since 2000 in one March Madness. I made it very difficult, but it's very easy if you pay attention.
I definitely got a few names.
I'm not kidding with you. 8 of these names were very easy, in my opinion. But who won last week?
Bill won.
Charlie, you're going first. Top 10 scores since 2000 in one single March Madness.
Oh, he played. I'll go Grant Hill.
Grant Hill,
brother.
No, I think he was drafted in 1996. So
yeah,
that would be incorrect. That's okay.
He shared a Rookie of the Year with Jason Kidd in the 90s. I'll go with Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis not on the list.
I got a trend in my mind here, so
I'll go Trey Burke.
Trey Burke's not on the list.
I'll go with Carmelo Anthony.
There we go. Number 6, Carmelo Anthony, with 121 points in a single March Madness.
Yeah, you're gonna get the trend.
You're damn right. It's coming. I see exactly where your head's at. Callie.
Jesus.
I can give you the team, the year, the amount of points.
Why can't I think of his name? This is bothering me. I was just talking about him. Kemba Walker.
There we go. Kemba Walker, number 2. Actually, number 1, 143 points. 2011 UConn.
I'm gonna go with Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose is not on the list. Shally, give me one.
trying to think, like go over all like the big. Is Curry on there?
Stephen Curry is on there. Number 5 with 128 points.
Curry's on there. Who else went on a crazy little run there? See, I don't think they actually played that long, so I don't.
Sorry, Kemba was 2. My fault. Kemba was 2.
One of those runs, Psycho T had to go crazy. I'm gonna go with Tyler Hansborough.
Hansborough's not on the list.
Jesus Christ. I'll go with Cat.
Cat's not on the list.
I'm gonna go with Bill. This was inspired by you. I'm gonna go with Peyton Siva.
Peyton Siva's not on the list.
You said Trey Burke, and that's the year they.
I mean, they went to the finals that year, and he went nuts. I thought he'd like be somewhere lower on the list. I mean, his last 2 games alone, I think he scored like 50.
I mean, that's why I said Siva, because
they
play each other in the finals that year.
Jesus.
I still got plenty though. Plenty in the chat. Oh, I got one.
I'm waiting.
It's on Bill.
Yeah, Bill.
Vince Carter.
Not on the list.
Gordon Hayward.
Not on the list.
Oh. This is absurd.
Damn, like what the fuck?
Kemba was 3, by the way. My fault.
What?
Kemba was 3, by the way. You're missing 1 and 2.
Okay.
I had it mixed. The list was mixed by they won a national. It's long story short. I got it though.
Okay.
This is tough.
I got another guess.
Just putting it in order right now.
What was? Oh God, I can't think of the North Carolina's guard's name. Jesus Christ.
It's one single March Madness, not total. So that's the big thing that people are probably missing. And I see a couple of answers in the chat. One single March Madness. Guys, I'm gonna start giving hints. You're ready for hints?
I got another. I got plenty guesses.
All right.
I don't got one. Go ahead.
Dante DiVincenzo.
Nope. You ready for hints?
Sure.
One was done as recently as 2 years ago. He's number 1.
Okay, I got that one. I should have guessed that one this past go round.
Another one was a 2002 legend. Like, great run, not a great NBA player. Number 4 is very, very tough. Number 5, you should know. Same school as one of the people you already named. He had a very legendary run, very similar to somebody else you guys named. One of them actually didn't make the finals, which is crazy to have that many total points and lose in the Final Four. And he lost in the Final Four by like 40 points. And then one of them is an all-time college player, never an NBA player. I mean, he was an NBA player, but he's playing somewhere else. That's number 10. I gave you a bunch of hints.
I think I know who number 1 is.
So 2 years ago, that would have been.
Might have been last year. I don't know. Maybe it's last year.
No, it's probably Bigfoot. What the hell's his name?
Brother. Need a guess?
Is that Zach Edey?
Zach Edey's number 1, 177 points.
I was hoping you didn't get that because after you said Bigfoot, I knew who that was going to be. 2002.
Derek Dempsey, you're absolutely right. I hate this fucking question.
Sorry.
It's fine. I mean, it's a good one.
I don't know if he fits the criteria here, but of all the guesses or the hints that you gave here, but the person that came to mind for me was Drew Timme.
Nope. Drew Timmy's not on the list. It's not far off, though.
I got one more.
Bro, 2002 might be before Cottrell's time, but it was one of the most legendary runs ever.
Before my time. It's crazy.
I mean, you're young, bro. 2002. Were you watching the tournament?
I wasn't watching it in 2002.
The year were you born?
97.
2002.
Jesus Christ, he's 5. I was 22. My God. The guy playing and then not playing in the NBA anymore. He plays elsewhere. I think, and he just shot the ball all the time. I'm going with Jimmer.
Jimmer's number 10.
I thought Jimmer might be on this list. When you said Steph, that was another name that I ultimately thought about.
Swimmer like Jimmer, number 10.
I think they lost in the Elite Eight. Like, that's wild.
He had 30 points, over 30 points in all 3 games.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. What's the score?
I have
you guys
4.
got Kemba, Steph, Zach Edey, Jimmer,
Bill.
I think it's 3-1.
4.
Yeah, those are all 4 of those.
You guys didn't get 1. You guys got 1. You guys didn't get 2. You guys didn't get 4. You guys didn't get 5. You guys didn't get 6. You got Steph, Carmelo. You guys
Carmelo
didn't get 9,
yeah,
and you got 10.
Those 4-1.
So you got 10, 8, 7, 3, and 1. So 4-1?
4-1.
Okay. Give me one, Control.
Goodness gracious.
The easiest one left, I don't know if there's an easy one. Easiest one left is the number 1 pick.
Greg Oden.
Nope. There's not a lot of easy ones left. Control. Not a lot of easy ones left. Give me
number one pick is I can snipe a number 1 pick since 2000. I can figure that part of it out.
That's number 9.
It's on you, Bill.
I'm thinking.
Bro,
I'm going back through
who
what
of all people are going to get so mad when you hear number 2?
Who, me?
Yes. Because it was one of the most legendary runs through a March Madness tournament. It's the first person I think of when I think of legendary. It's Kemba and this person. It's the first 2 people I think of when I think had the greatest March Madness.
That's interesting.
If you don't get it because you're up 4-1, I'm going to read Kittrell the games. He still won't get it.
Well, you can't. You got to do it before my turn because I went first. So
You're up 4-1. I'm cheating.
Jesus.
He still won't get it. 2 he won't get, in my opinion. He should get it though.
I have one. I don't know what year.
I'm shocked more people in the chat haven't gotten it.
I'm going D Wade.
Wade is not it.
That would be an easy one. Let's go. Going back to number 1 overall picks here.
118 points. 2009. Oh, I should do that.
You said 2000.
That being the case, there, I'm going to go with John Wall.
Not John Wall.
Before John Wall. Who was sandwiched in there? Because you had.
I feel
Kyrie,
bad. I thought this would be a little easier.
Kyrie was right after. And then John was in 10.
Can I give hints?
Sure.
One of them.
Why don't we just go with if we go, will teams make it too easy?
No, I don't think so. Number two is Maryland. Number 4 is Purdue, somewhat recent. Number 5 is UConn. Number 6 is Oklahoma. Number 9 is Oklahoma. And that's the 4 you have left.
I know 2.
Well, good. Give me 2.
I'm going to save it in case I need it.
Okay. Well, you only get 1. You win.
Oh, I'll put it 5. I mean,
you're right.
Oklahoma. Buddy Hield?
Buddy Hield. That is correct. 134 points, 2016. That was the team that got beat by 40 in the Final Four.
The other Oklahoma is number 1 overall pick, Blake Griffin.
That is correct. 118. Now you can end it, Shally. Hit him with the hammer.
I'm
Hit him
pretty
with the hammer.
Pretty sure I have this. Yeah, because he wasn't a good pro. I'm going to go. You said Maryland, right?
Yes, Maryland.
It's got to be Juan Dixon.
That is correct. Juan Dixon. I don't know how you don't remember this. 29 versus Siena, 29 versus Wisconsin, 19 against Kentucky in the Sweet 16 because he played in the play-in. 27 versus UConn, 33 versus Kansas, and 18 versus Indiana national championship.
UConn, were either one of them Ben Gordon or Rip Hamilton?
Nope, Shabazz Napier.
Wasn't getting that.
Carson Edwards was the one from Purdue.
Yeah, he did have a crazy run at Purdue.
So it was Zach Edey, Juan Dixon, Kemba Walker, Carson Edwards, Shabazz Napier, Buddy Hield, Steph Curry, Carmelo Anthony, Blake Griffin, and Jimmer Fredette. Followed up by Malik Monk and John Morant.
Ja didn't even make it that far.
He had 108 points.
That is ridiculous.
That's the list.
I feel like that. I should look at something.
Carson had like 41 game.
139. Zach Edey, Juan Dixon, Kemba Walker.
Nice.
All right. By the way, I screwed this list up, by the way, because Walter Clayton Jr. was on there, but it went to 2024. But no one said him, so you guys.
It didn't matter. Yeah.
All right, we got to roll. MLB, baby. AL East.
You don't want to talk about tournament first? Or we'll save that for last?
Oh, tournament. My fault. Let's get the tournament. Shally.
What up?
Your Michigan Wolverines take on Arizona. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I don't know if you're right. Do you think your Michigan
Wolverines? It's going to be a nerve-wracking Saturday.
All right. Before we get into the Michigan versus Arizona game, we have to talk about UConn Duke. We have to.
Yeah.
Talk about UConn Duke. This is probably the lead that we didn't really get into, and it's crazy. But who do you blame most for Duke's collapse? Boozer, the coach, or was it just UConn being that good?
I think as a whole, I look at Shire because it's been a repeat performance. Like this has been copy and paste from the last 2 years. Duke has big lead in Elite Eight. They're supposed to be advancing to Final Four. They have a collapse and, something happens late and they lose the basketball game. So I think as a whole, I'm looking more so at John Shire and how he continuously gets out-coached in these late game situations or just not knowing how to coach, with a lead in these big time games there. But I think in the moment, this was very Chris Webber calling the timeout on the floor. This this was a situation where you have a freshman, and we talk about it on this show all the time. I tell you guys week in and week out whenever March Madness is around, I love teams that have veteran guards. And Caden Boozer, I mean, it couldn't have been any more freshman than what that play was. And I don't know, the play didn't happen because he was a freshman, but it's just like the lack of situational awareness and just being in such a big time moment. You can tell everything went out of his head there, and he was just thinking about, what can I do to get the ball out of my hands like right now? Because in reality, if he just holds that, even if it's a trap and it's a tie up, like whatever the case may be, everything is better than what ultimately was the final result from that game there. So I think, again, Duke losing the game there and how it happens, you put a ton of the blame on Caden Boozer there. But just based on the history there, and we just keep seeing it time and time again with Duke, I put the majority of the blame on Shire in this one. No way you can blow a 19-point lead in the second half.
I agree. I mean, I think that the end was the culmination of it, obviously. The fact that they even let UConn back into that game with some of the turnovers and some of the horrible, offensive sets they ran that wasted possessions, I would lean on Shire as well. I don't disagree with Cottrell. I think Boozer got that ball, and he acted like it was a grenade. Like he could not wait to get he wanted that thing gone in a heartbeat. I also agree that the worst possible thing he could have done is probably what he did. It would have been better off he would have caught the ball and just started running with it and took
Chucked it out of bounds, something, anything.
Something, dude, anything. It is. It's one of those things. I mean, listen, all three of us all the time, we want experienced guards. We all talk about it because it matters. So I feel bad for him. That unfortunately is going to be one of those that's an all-time March Madness moment. Like he's going to see that every year for the rest of his life, probably at some point. Duke has this weird thing, man, like where they get up big and sometimes they literally just fall apart. We saw it earlier in the year when they were beating North Carolina in North Carolina. They were up 10 with like a minute 45 to go, and they lost that game. They go through these just lapses where they just literally just shield themselves.
The two rookies of the year, Cooper Flagg and Con Knipple, were on the same fucking team last year, and those guys couldn't win. And that collapse was terrible. But look, we talk about Caden Boozer. We don't talk about Cameron Boozer's awful turnover that he had that made that into a 2-point game. And then he ended up getting the layup.
Got the and one to make up for it.
Yeah, he did. But with 10 seconds left in that game, with a timeout in their pocket, why wouldn't Duke call timeout there?
Well, I think to the conversation that we had last week when we talked about like just sets and things like that, if we're being honest with ourselves, you saw how much Duke struggled to get the ball in versus St. John's. And I know this isn't St. John's they were playing there, but Duke clearly had a issue with getting the ball inbounded when there were set pressures at hand there. And I think especially under your own basket there, you're hoping that you get it in quick. Like I think everything that happened before the turnover was probably exactly how you wanted it to happen. Yeah, the press breaker was like perfect because UConn wasn't fully set the way they wanted to be. They got the inbound
backwards. You could throw the ball behind you. You had 10 seconds.
I think obviously that was the wrong decision of what Caden decided to do there. But I think as far as the set that they were in, it was beautiful. They had two guys up the court that were absolutely wide open. He had the guys behind him. They got it in really with no problem. So like, I think not calling the timeout for them was ultimately the best move there. It's just that you can't anticipate your, 5-star kid who's probably going to be a lottery pick to just give the ball away in that situation as easy as he did. Like if he got his pocket pick, that's one thing, but just throwing it up in the air and them getting a clean look in transition essentially at a 3-ball there, like you just can't anticipate that.
He could have threw the ball high as he wanted in the air down the court, and it would have been fine.
Yep.
But him throwing that, it just was a mistake. And guys, I don't know about you. You might be different than me. We might be different from each other. But if I'm if I'm Boozer in that situation, Kate, not Cameron, I want you to foul me.
Facts.
I want to go to the line and shoot those free throws. Double bonus. He's going to hit at least one. Hits two. He's ice water in his veins. The game's over. I want the ball in my hands. Guys, I don't know how many times I have to say it. You can learn a lot about someone by how they react when the game is on the line. I watch it all the time. I watch it in fucking rec league softball. Certain guys can hit all the time, but when the game's on the line, it's like, I'm not lying. Shelly, am I lying?
No.
You can tell. You can see it. Give me the ball when the game's on the line.
I think there is a thing that does need to be said, though, about where Caden's at right now in his career, right? Because if we're being honest, like Caden really wasn't their go-to guy this season. Like he was really he was like the sixth man of the team. Duke had the injury at the point guard position, and Caden stepped up and he did a really good job, being the starting point guard after the injury to their original starting point guard there. But I would think, especially in the situation where your brother is the, All-American, probably going to be player of the year and all of that, and they've played together forever. Like, he probably has never been that guy, if we're being honest with ourselves, Gene. Like, it was probably always, get the ball to Cameron in these situations. We want him to shoot the free throws. He's the better player. And you have a different mentality, I feel like, when you are the young kid who feels like you're trying to earn your keep there, essentially. And, I can almost understand his mindset of, I don't want to be the guy shooting these free throws. Like, I'm the freshman. I don't want this pressure on me. Let me give this to somebody else who's made for the moment here, because it's not me. Like, I'm not normally in these situations. I don't take these shots. Like, I want to get the ball out of my hands as quickly as possible. And I don't want to say that's going to be him forever. I'm not going to say he's going to be scared of the moment all the time there, but I just think, the context of him being an 18-year-old freshman who had been playing with his twin brother, who has always been the guy, like maybe Caden was never in a position to, take those kinds of shots and doesn't feel comfortable with the ball in his hands in those moments.
Let me give you guys a Cameron Boozer for NBA pick, and then we can move to the next game. Because the other teams were absolute blowouts. We don't have to look
for sure.
Call it like it is.
So the only thing I would add is, after all that, you still got to give the kid credit for making a 45-foot shot too. So
100%. Like that was butter. That didn't even touch it.
didn't even flinch taking it either.
You couldn't stay on top of it and drop it through any better.
No.
I think Danny Hurley hit button referees.
I'll go very simple, bro. That's insane. Cameron
Boozer said he thought his ref wanted a chest bump.
Cameron Boozer or AJ DeBonza?
Right now I'm taking AJ.
AJ.
Right now? I'll take AJ today, tomorrow, next week, 2 months from now, 3 years from now.
Right now.
No,
I'm just saying, he said right now.
Oh, no, I'm taking AJ.
Karen, this will be a fun one. Cameron Boozer or Darren Peterson?
Cameron Boozer.
I love how quick you said that, bro. I love it.
I mean, I'm hoping I'm not drafting Ben Simmons. I think Peterson's the way better pro if he's not a nutcase.
Man, I don't want to. Can I pass?
Fair. Trade down.
I'll trade down. I would take Cameron Boozer over Darren Peterson. Cameron Boozer or Caleb Williams? Caleb Wilson.
Cameron Boozer.
Caleb Wilson.
Caleb Wilson. Cameron Boozer or Darius Acuff?
Acuff for me.
In the league?
Yeah, in the league.
I love Acuff, but I'm going Boozer.
I'll go Darius Acuff. Cameron Boozer or Kingston Flemings?
Oh, Cameron. The rest of the way out, Cameron Boozer for me. There's nobody else.
Where it gets a little.
I'll take Kingston.
I know you're taking Amen. I know you're taking Amen, but I'm saying for me, Boozer is over everybody else in that class.
Well, I got another one for you. I know you guys are going to say no. You'll find out Saturday. I'll take Braden Berries over Cameron Boozer. We'll find out Saturday.
It's just in the league, it's so much tougher to transition as a guard than it is.
Can't shoot, bro. He can't shoot. So his size, what is his size going to get him in the league?
This is where I'm gonna agree with Gene probably through this whole damn argument.
Bro, when you go, listen, Control, your statement. I'm going to use your statement against you.
Okay.
It's easy to look like a world beater versus 18 and 19-year-old girls. But when you go against some grown-ass women, let me change the words. It's easy to look like a world beater versus some 18 to 19-year-old guys. But when you go against some grown-ass men in the league, I'm telling you right now, bro, he's not going to be able to get his way in the paint like he is. I just don't believe it.
And I think he's going to struggle horribly defensively.
You say, defensively, I think a lot of rookies are going to struggle going in. But you say he can't shoot. I think he can shoot the ball just fine. He's like a 40% three-point shooter in college.
Wide open looks, though, man. Like, look at him when he makes a crazy zone shot.
40% is 40%.
It's non-existent.
I also, I'm looking at it, too. Like, if he goes somewhere like, let's say Indiana, for example. You go somewhere with a guard that you can go in in the pick and roll. Like, I don't think he's going to have a problem scoring in those actions. Like, if he goes to a team like the Wizards or the Nets, like, I think you're having a different the Wizards would be different now with Trae Young, but if he goes somewhere like the Nets where he's like that guy, or he goes somewhere like the Jazz, like, I do think he is going to have some difficulties there. But if you put him with a somewhat competent point guard, I think he's going to be perfectly fine with how his game is to translate.
You might laugh at me, but that Siena game told me anything I need to know.
His first tournament game,
wide open at the free throw line, he didn't shoot the ball. He didn't know what to do. Siena had a game plan of let Cameron Boozer shoot the ball from the free throw line. We're just going to guard the paint. We're going to stack the paint, and it worked. It fucking worked, bro. I thought that was insane. They were going to let him shoot jumpers, foul line jumpers all day. He has no mid-range game. He might be able to shoot the ball from three, and that's college three, not NBA three. But he has no midi. What?
I said, I guess.
What do you mean, I guess?
Dude, I don't.
It is a different line, but let's not act like these college guys are going right up to the line and shooting it. Like, guys are shooting from range all the time, everywhere.
Bro,
we'll
find out.
Yeah, the more I dug into it, he struggles, to Gene's point. He struggles horribly to create his own shot, and anything when he's guarded to Gene's point, mid range. And he's guarded with somebody just as big as him, his numbers fall off a cliff, man. I don't disagree with the size thing either. I think it makes him stand out in college. I think he's going to blend in the pros. I think his defense is going to be an absolute. He's kind of a tweener in the NBA, and I think that's what's going to hurt him. I think all these guys that are stretch fours now or point forwards, I think they're going to eat him alive outside. I really do.
6'9", 250. I don't think his size will be the issue. I don't think he's a tweener. I think he's a power forward in the NBA. I think that's exactly what he is.
Right, but my point being, he's not going to be able to guard a lot of these other guys. Is my point. He's not.
He's 250 in college at 19. I think he can put on a little bit of muscle and stick with Giannis. Like, I'm just being honest.
And I also think the way that the NBA
is, stop him. I'm just saying, like, he's not going to get bullied by him.
The way that the NBA is too, like, let's not act like, teams aren't playing small ball. Like, I don't think you're going to see. He's not going to be out there all the time going up against traditional 7-footers like he may have 10 years.
I'm not saying that.
I think the way that the NBA is now, that
I think he'd be better there.
It fits his game.
I think to Gene's point, when he gets drug outside against somebody like Giannis that has an elite athleticism, they're going to kill him.
You might laugh at me, but I will pay the price of admission to watch the first. Let's just say he goes to the Wizards. Let's say he goes to the Nets. I would pay the price of admission to watch the Nets versus Warriors game and watch what Draymond does to that dude. Like, I think it'll be fun to watch.
I just look at his game, and again, I'm not gonna say this is who he plays like or anything like that, but like look at how long Al Horford has been able to stay in the league with what he does at his size. Like Cameron Boozer absolutely can do that. And obviously Al is great defensively. So like that makes up a ton of it.
You're saying at his ceiling he's Al Horford? Yeah, I'm not.
No, I didn't say. First off, I didn't say anything about his ceiling. Second off, Al Horford is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, everyone's a Hall of Famer in the NBA. Sorry, don't. It's not an accomplishment in the NBA. Dwight Howard's a Hall of Famer.
Should have been NBA 75.
Dwight Howard should be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
I guess. My point being is everyone's a Hall of Famer in the NBA. You talk about Al Horford. What's his ceiling? Give me his NBA comp. I think he stinks.
I don't know if I have one. I don't know if I have one for him. NBA comp?
It's tough not to give an NBA comp.
It is. I mean, he's one of these new age guys. So I'm trying to think of guys more like new, but
he's
I don't.
The poor man's Paolo.
Poor man's what?
Paolo. He's a poor man's Paolo.
But he shoots better than Paolo, and we see Paolo average 20 a game.
Poor man's Paolo.
Paolo's got a way better off the dribble game.
All right, guys.
Here's a better question. I've seen this debated. Does he have a better career than his dad or no?
No.
I agree.
Yes.
His dad was a bucket. He won't be a bucket. His dad was also a cone defensively. He'll be a cone. His dad was the worst defender I've ever seen in the low block. I've ever seen. He played very good standstill defense. All right, guys. I do want to ask this question because we'll get into the main event of the evening shortly. I was wrong. I like admitting I'm wrong when I'm wrong. I was wrong. I'm going to ask this question. Michigan plays Arizona. UConn plays the team that nobody is talking about. You hear Hurley, you hear Michigan, you hear Arizona, not a peep about it. Illinois. Who do you guys got in Illinois, UConn?
I'm going with UConn. I think Illinois has been playing well. Obviously, even last week when we talked about him versus Houston, like I thought the game would be great. I still picked Houston to win, but I thought Illinois had the offense to stay in that one. But I just feel like right now Dan Hurley is just one of those guys where once he gets in the tournament, he can really get the most out of those guys, and he is on a different level in terms of his coaching ability right now in the NCAA. Because just look at the track record the last 4 years, right? So obviously they got 2 national championships already in that window, another Final Four appearance right now. But even last year, like you could argue that outside of the Auburn game, they took Florida to, as close to the brink as anybody in the entire tournament. So you got 2 national championships, Final Four appearance now, and then losing to the eventual national championships in the last 4 years there. So I just think Dan Hurley is going to find a way to coach up an absolute masterclass here and, get it done versus an Illinois team who should be proud to be here. But I just think Hurley's going to outcoach him and they'll take care of business.
You want to hear something funny, Shab?
Yeah, Eric, Illinois is not getting blown out by 20. I promise you that.
You want to hear something funny, Shal? Caravan hit a big 3 to kind of get that game close, right? Mm-hmm. And then the kid that hit the game winner is Braylon Mullins. Do you want to know how many threes Braylon Mullins and Alex Caravan had combined with 3 minutes left in the game?
Might be 0.
It was 0.
Caravan didn't shoot the ball well that night. I'm not.
Caravan was awful, and then he hit that 3. Awful.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend to know a ton about Mullins, so I don't know how often he shoots it for them. But Caravan did not have a good night up until that point. It's a tough game. I think the thing that leads me towards Connecticut, believe it or not, is Caravan and Reed. The one thing, listen, Illinois played Michigan tough twice. They beat Michigan State. They are battle tested. They are not going to go. I think they split with Purdue. They've played a bunch of elite teams all year. They're not going to go into that UConn game and be overwhelmed. I don't believe that at all. They play a very, I don't say it's interesting. They just offensively they're kind of always going forward. You can get them on the break. My biggest thing for UConn, but they struggle with length. They struggle with big inside guys. Caravan plays outside more. I'll be curious to see what Hurley does with him. I think Reed is the game breaker for me. If he can play like he did against Duke and stay out of foul trouble, Illinois doesn't have anybody to guard him. He will go wild down low. So that is the one thing Illinois struggles with. They struggle with big front lines. Great guard team. They can go. They can shoot. I think it's going to be a very interesting chess match between both of them. I think adjustments will be key. But like Cottrell said, I think Hurley is one of those guys that it's kind of like the new Izzo. Like I think you can say whatever you want during the regular season. He has that other level once he gets in the tournament. And I think those kids are, obviously they're on cloud nine right now, but I think he'll get them ready to go for Saturday. I like UConn and a nail biter.
I got UConn close over Illinois. I got Arizona very close over Michigan. I think they're both going to be really good basketball games. I think both of the games will be worth the price of admission. Arizona is a team that just pulled away versus Purdue. They were losing that basketball game at the half by 7. And that second half looked like it was just, they went on a run that was just stop, score. I think they might score 50. What?
They feel like they didn't miss the second half.
Yeah, I think they might have scored 50 points in the second half. I'll say this. I think it's going to be a great game. And I think when you look at the rebounding and the pick and roll action that both of these teams are going to run, I think it's going to be great. Matchup predictor actually has Michigan as a slight favorite. Michigan dog walk Tennessee. Like, that was not a basketball game. It was 16-16, and then you turn around, it was 42-20. What the hell just happened? I think it's going to be a great basketball game. Arizona versus Michigan. I think they both have length. I think they both play defense. I think they both have size. I think Arizona's a little bit more athletic. I got Arizona in this one. Close game, 73-69.
Yeah, I think this game is the Spider-Man meme, right? I think you got two teams that look exactly the same here. Michigan's got the size, Arizona's got the size. Michigan's got good guard play, Arizona's got good guard play. Michigan has, a guy who's going to be a lottery pick. Arizona has a guy that's going to be a lottery pick. So like everything here is screaming. I think this is, with all due respect to Hurley and UConn, but I think this is your national championship game. Like this is what's ultimately going to decide it there. And I got Michigan winning in a tight basketball game here. I do think that Arizona has what it takes to win this game, but just late there, I don't know, something about it. It just feels like, Michigan's going to have the slight edge there, whether it be Axel, just last second shot to put Michigan over or whatever the case may be there. I think it's going to be a tight game. I'm right there with you. I'm going one possession. I'd say 76-74 or something along the lines of that, maybe 80-78, somewhere around there. But I got Michigan, sneaking into the national championship game.
I made no bones about it from the get-go. I think it's going to be a battle. I think it's going to be an instant classic. I think everything you guys have said has been accurate. And I've said it all year. I've said it for the last couple months. They're built the same. They both got three bigs that can both play inside and outside. Both teams are top 5 nationally, defensively, in every efficiency category. They all defend their ass off. Michigan switches everything because they feel comfortable across the line with their size and length guarding. Arizona does something very similar. It's gonna be a game for men. It is not gonna be a little boys game for sure. I think how the game is officiated is going to matter. I think Mara's got to stay out of, I think he's got to stay out of foul trouble for Michigan. And I think the I can't think of his name, the freshman big for Arizona is the same way. He's got to stay out of foul trouble. Both teams play drastically different if those two guys are off the court. I'm hoping they let them just play and bang and see what happens. But I said it last week. I think the biggest key is shooting. Michigan's the better shooting team. They shoot better from outside. Arizona doesn't like to shoot from outside. And I think they're going to have to, the way Michigan defends, I think they're going to have to settle for more stuff outside than they're used to, because they're one of the few teams that's going to be able to stay in front of them. I think it's a nail biter. I think it's an instant classic. I got Michigan 75-73.
Talking about the kid from Germany, freshman.
Yeah.
Ivan. I can't say his last name. We're talking about Color Pete. They're both freshmen. One's from Germany.
Forward though.
They're both old. The only center they have
was like 6. Cole's what, 6'7", 6'8"?
The 7'2" kid from Lithuania is a junior. So I don't know. He said freshman. That's why I went. All right, guys. We got to kind of move to baseball. It's 152 in. Let's move to AL East. I have Arizona over. Let's just be quick. I have Arizona over UConn. I think you two have Michigan over UConn.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Just making sure we're good there. AL East. As per usual, 5 of these positions are pretty easy. So can we lock up?
I'm curious on the ones that you have as easy because of the competition.
What do you mean?
Like, I'm curious if you're like, for me, I would say the names. I had like 5 easy names, but it's more so about like where you put them, I guess.
The outfield I just put in the outfield. I didn't play around with that. Is that what you're referring to?
No, I'm talking about your infield actually.
So I have Pete Alonso as my DH, and then I put how I did is I put Pete Alonso as my DH. Vlad Guerrero Jr. is my starting first baseman.
Same.
I did the same thing.
And then I have Gunnar at short. I think that was pretty easy.
Yep.
And then the Roman Empire with Judge and why am I forgetting the last outfielder? Is it Duran?
Duran.
That's my outfield.
My outfield's the same.
Same.
And then the easiest thing for me was Junior Caminero at third.
Yep. Same.
So now we get to get in the conversation. Do you have Junior at third?
Yeah, of course. I was more so. I was talking, I guess, about like Gunnar. Obviously Gunnar is going to be at short there, but I was more so like the Gunnar Junior third question mark. I guess
so my team is Alejandro Kirk is my catcher. He's proven it time and time again. Vlad's my 1. Jazz is my 2, which I don't like Jazz at 2, but there's really not a great option.
Have to go with him, yeah.
Gunner's my short. Junior's my 3rd. My outfield's the Roman Empire, Duran, and Judge. And then my DH is Pete Alonso.
And then your starting pitcher is Garrett Crochet, I'm assuming?
Yes, 100%.
Easy peasy.
Oh, wow. Is that it? You guys agree with everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about Adley, but again, it just Kirk has been way more consistent. Adley is still
he's not even
never
got to his now.
You're right.
Never got to his potential. So
I will say this. A guy that is not talked about enough that should creep into this lineup one way or the other, maybe a catcher next year. He's not going to catch enough games is Ben Rice. First baseman mainly, but he can catch when you want that extra offensive lineup out there. He had a bomb today. He's 2 for 4 with a double and a home run. He's a guy you got to look at. Max Fried should not be pitcher, bro. He shouldn't.
Max Fried a really, really, really good number 2.
He's not the best pitcher on his own team. It's a projection, but he's not the best pitcher on his own team.
Well, you're not wrong. I mean, if Cole's healthy, you're not wrong.
I'm not saying Cole either.
I know you're talking about Schlitter.
Yeah, Schlittler. I think he's the best pitcher on that team.
The Schlittler.
I think he's incredible. He's got great stuff.
He does. He's dirty.
Yeah.
He's pitching tonight, I think.
He won already. Game's over.
Did he pitch the early game?
Yeah.
They have a doubleheader. And then Freed's got tonight then, I guess.
I have Crochet as my pitcher, and I have Aroldis Chapman as my closer.
Yeah. I mean, Crochet's a bona fide, he's an ace. Max Fried is a really low end one, or he's a top of the line number 2.
What are you upset about? No doubleheader.
I thought they had a doubleheader today.
No doubleheader.
Hmm.
I mean, listen.
We
went through that lineup pretty quick. I guess it wasn't really much.
The funny thing was, I went into it today to do it, and then I was like, this isn't gonna be hard actually. Like I started, I kind of ripped through it. I was like,
I will say though, just kind of going through the lineup though, like I was looking at it, and I'm like, for this to be the AL East, like I feel like it's as a whole, it's very underwhelming.
I 100% agree with you. I think the NL East runs through the AL East. I really do. I think the NL East runs through the AL East. But we'll get in the NL East versus AL East next week.
Yes, we will.
I think the AL East is not flashy, but it's really good.
I mean, they got like half their team is like the intangibles team, right? Like where they're not going to put up the crazy. I mean,
you look at second base. That's obviously the
glaring hole. Yep,
the glaring hole. But again, if Chaz is if he's your worst player, I mean, even the left side of your infield is ridiculous.
Duran is a weak third outfielder. If we're being honest. Roman Anthony is newer. He's younger. He's a weaker second outfielder compared to the rest of the group. Alejandro Kirk will probably be the worst starting catcher out of the 6 divisions that we do. Nothing against him. I'm just saying out of the 6 divisions we do. Okay. I mean, he's good. He's not great.
He's not better than. I'm just thinking like we did the NL East, we did the NL West last week, and like I'm looking at like Tatis in the outfield and Kyle Tucker in the outfield, and like comparing those guys to Roman Anthony and Duran, it's like again, nothing against them. I'm not saying they're not great players, but like there's levels to it. And we go in the NL East outfield next week, there's going to be levels to it.
There is. You're gonna flash your names, and like I said, I'm not saying the NL East isn't better, but I mean I think you could sleep on the AL East and get in trouble.
I mean, the thing about the AL East is their middle of the order is going to be insane. If Judge wakes up with Junior Caminero and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and Gunnar at the 2, like if I was building that lineup, it'd be tough to pick the leadoff hitter. I guess I would go with Roman Anthony or Jarren Duran. But my 2, 3, 4, 5 would be very easy. I would go Gunnar, Judge, Junior would back up. And it's crazy to say, but Vlad would be my 5. You could probably go Vlad 4 and Junior 5. I think Junior has a better season than Vlad this year. Just personal opinion.
Oh, I mean, you still got Alonso in there.
I was going to say, you still got Pete following that up.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. Well, Pete's a weak link in that lineup.
In comparison, yeah.
Yeah, and you're not putting Pete over any of those guys I just said.
No. I more so meant like in comparison to like
but if he's batting
the other DHs that we've been talking about.
But I think he's a guy that's very gettable. I think all the other guys can bat over 300. I don't think Pete will sniff 300.
No, I mean it's just not what he is.
Well, I know, but the other guys can hit the ball deep too. So I think that's the comparison. Also, by the way, let me reword that. Pete Alonso would start at first. He's not the better first baseman, but he's a way better defensive first baseman than when you're getting one Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Just want to say that out loud.
Don't disagree, but Vlad is top.
Vlad is the number one first baseman, which is what we've been doing. But like, if that's my team, I'm just moving Vlad to DH.
Yeah, I got you. The NL East has got to be. I mean, I think we'll finally have discussions next week.
Oh, 100%. But it's going to be discussions when we have the argument over which division would win.
Yeah.
Like, the crazy thing is this, right? It sucks, but if you could put your outfield in the NL East is going to be so easy. Like, I could book it for you now off the top of my head. It's Soto, Acuna, James Wood. You're done. We don't need to argue.
Well, it depends if you want to put outfielder-wise, if you decide to go somewhere else and DH Soto because he's an absolute – he's talking about a cone.
Yeah, but you got to DH Schwarber. You have to.
All right. Well, that means there's a big name being left off the team then.
It'd probably be Matt Olson.
Oh.
Let's not get too deep into it.
All right, let's talk about it next week. Let's get in. You got to be kidding me. We're at 9:00.
All right, this week for me, I got a fun one. A lot of them we've really already talked about. I mean, Jaden Ivey 100% deserves to be one. Tiger Woods deserves to be one. But I got a fun one. So the NFL coaches have met this week in Arizona, and they took their yearly or annually, picture together of all the coaches sitting in chairs and standing up behind them. And there was notably one coach missing. And that one coach happens to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, Mr. Todd Monken. And they asked him about, why he missed the photo opportunity there. And his answer was that he was getting a haircut at the time that the picture was being taken because he was trying to get ready for the picture and look as nice as possible. Todd Monken, bad start, man. Bad start. Because, I feel like this is one of those things you probably get an itinerary as soon as you get through the door, like, hey, we need you here at 3:30 p.m. for this picture. And then, you're free to go do whatever other responsibilities you have throughout the day. So again, just kind of a fun one for the rookie head coach here. But Todd Monken missing the NFL coach's picture because you're getting a haircut to get ready for the picture this week.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
You think for a guy that makes like millions of dollars, it might be like maybe get the haircut before the trip? I don't know.
Yeah,
or have an assistant be like, hey, you gotta get a haircut earlier.
Shally, there's 100 this week. Please tell me you have one.
There are.
I do. And hate to say I told you so, but I told you this was coming. Robo-umps are here, and they're making the real umpires look like idiots already. We're 6 games in, and they're missing 60-some% of the calls. Then you got CB Buckner, who freaking missed 70 calls in one game. I don't know. And somebody else said he got hit with a ball in the face today. I don't know if that's true or not.
He did.
But
got hit in the face mask.
Good. He clearly can't see, so I don't know how the hell they're letting him umpire anymore. I love it. Listen, everybody knows I'm a traditionalist, but it was getting out of hand for way too long where it was affecting games. It was affecting playoff games. And these guys are just missing calls left, right. I don't think people understand how most major league hitters, how good they are at knowing what the strike zone is and isn't. And you're starting to see it. You had all these people push back, be like, oh, they're just bitching about calls, blah, blah, blah. Hitting a baseball for professional pitchers is hard enough. When an umpire gives a guy an extra 3, 4, 5, 6 inches, almost makes it impossible. To watch all these calls, we've actually had a couple pitchers actually challenge calls as well and get those right, which is hysterical. I love it. Major league umpires just have egg all over their face from opening day weekend up through this week already. You guys better get your shit together, and you better get it together real quick. Because because you guys are looking like buffoons out there right now. Some are better, some are way better than others. There's a couple guys that actually adjusted their zone mid-game. Give those guys credit. But for the CB Buckners of the world and all these guys have been hanging around collecting paychecks and ruining games for way too long, time to go. Time to go. Proof's in the pudding now. We're seeing it live. You're missing call after call after call after call after call. So this week for me, Major League umpire, I told you so it was coming. Now you look like idiots.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
Since he used mine, which is CB Buckner, I'll still play the video of CB Buckner.
He didn't really even go into it.
I got it. And then I'll give you a little bonus one too. All right, so let me share my screen. This is incredible. I don't even know how this is possible. You guys see my screen?
Yep.
CB Buckner is actually the first base umpire in this game. So should be a little bit easier of a job, but not for CB Buckner.
Bowers. Oh, and down the glove of Williamson. Throws it first. It's wide. It's backed up by Fortes. That should be a base hit for Bowers.
Buckner did not touch first base and then was put out.
And I think that is a horrendous call. Where is CB Buckner looking?
He's not even looking at it. Why would you say that?
CB Buckner was not even looking at the play.
He stepped right on top of first base. I'm not sure what CB Buckner's looking at there. That's all.
Kevin Cash is laughing. Look at Murph. Those two guys are laughing. I can't wait to see that text chain between those two guys.
Yeah.
CB Buckner said he didn't touch first base. That is like the most egregious missed call I've ever seen. But the better part is the fact that the cameras caught CB Buckner not even looking at first base. So that's my first one. So you can give me a quick CB Buckner again.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
You muted yourself, bud.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
This just happened just 50 minutes ago.
Oh, man.
Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua is in rehab. What is he in rehab for? Is it for drugs? Is it for alcohol? No, not rehab for any of those things. He is in rehab, and I quote, will complete the program in plenty of time to be involved in OTAs. Nacua is going to rehab in an attempt to improve his overall behavior in every aspect of life. What? You can go to rehab for that? You can go to rehab for being a shitty human being. You can go to rehab for being a moron. I didn't know that. We need to send a lot more people to rehab, not being shitty human beings. Puka Nacua was just sued recently, and we talked about last week about for an unprovoked anti-Semitic statement. And then he bit the girl on the shoulder. And we're like, he said it wasn't me. I didn't do it, blah, blah, blah.
Allegedly.
Well, now he's in boot camp for behavior. So, guys, don't want to call things out unless they're facts, but I think he did it. I think he did it. We'll be back for OTAs. We're just going to send him over to rehab so he can learn how to behave like an adult. Puka Nacua, the same Puka Nacua says CT is not real. It's not a real thing. Listen, the only thing Puka Nacua needs is a muzzle. He doesn't need rehab. Just put a muzzle on him, and rehab it's not going to change the fact that he's a shitty human being. So for this week, my second you got to kidding me, Puka Nacua.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
I was going to bring that up, so I'm glad that you said it there.
Jory, I love the comment. What's the name of this place? I have a few referrals. Oh, God. Guys, we caught up. We're a little bit late, but we caught up. Fun show. Any final comments, gentlemen?
I got nothing. Gene, are you gonna be with us next week?
Yes, I will be with you next week. I will not be with you the following.
Oh, okay, cool. So you get the whole Masters preview and all that, all the good stuff.
Masters Week.
I shot my first round of golf on Sunday.
How was it?
I thought it was going to be an abomination. Haven't shot since October. I don't know what the hell. I shot well. Broke 100.
Where'd you go?
Linfield.
Nice.
I piped the 280-yard drive on the par 5. Perfect.
Love it.
You're gonna be chasing that shot the rest of the year.
You're right.
You're right. What golf does, dude. You know what?
I did not pipe a drive better than I piped this drive down the middle of the fairway.
I know. I mean, how you're talking about it, I know it had to be a great one. So you're going to be chasing that one.
Where you're not supposed to take a driver, like you're supposed to take a 6-iron or a 5-iron, hit it like 180, and then like go around a bend. It's like kind of like thin. I piped the driver right through. I don't ever lay up. I don't lay up. I'm not a 1965 basketball player. I don't lay up.
He's Phil Mickelson.
Any final comments, my guy, Charlie?
Nada.
Anything?
Nope.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week's Wire2Wire Sports Podcast. We had a fun time. I'm the NFL Genius, Gene Walzak. That's Kent State's own, Cleveland's own College Cottrell, Uncle Shally, Scholastic Shally, Mr. William Shallcross, and we are signing out.